To California now, where there are more problems today for the jury in the Scott Peterson murder trial. MSNBC's Jennifer London is in Redwood City, California, to bring us today's developments. Jennifer?
Lester, another shakeup inside Scott Peterson's jury. Juror number 5, as you may know, has been dismissed. Now, the court is not offering any official statement as to why this juror was asked to leave, but Judge DeLucchi did say he was dismissing this juror despite objections from the defense team. Juror number 5 will be replaced with an alternate. Here is what we know about the new juror number 5. He is a white male. He appears to be in his 50s or 60s. He is retired. We understand that his future son-in-law owns a restaurant that Laci Peterson and Scott Peterson started in San Luis Obispo, so there is a connection to the Petersons. He is also an avid boater, although he says that he's not too familiar with the Berkeley Marina. He said during jury selection that there was no direct evidence against Scott Peterson. We also know that he served on 2 juries in the past. One was a civil case, the other was a criminal case. Now, today's shakeup comes amid yesterday's news that juror number 7 was being dismissed. Again, the court is not releasing any statement as to why juror number 7 was let go, but we believe that had something to do with this juror perhaps doing some independent research on her own. Now, don't expect to hear from the excused juror number 5 or juror number 7 anytime soon. They are both under the gag order. And Lester, we understand that juror number 5, before he left the courtroom today, he did pass a note to Judge DeLucchi, and he said that he hopes the media will leave the jury alone.
All right, Jennifer London with the update from California. Thank you. So 2 dismissals in 2 days indicates a jury perhaps in chaos in the Peterson trial. Joining me now to discuss this latest juror dismissal and the potential impact of the case, Sam Solomon, a jury consultant and CEO of Door Litigation Services. Mr. Solomon, thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. This is a circumstantial evidence case. So let me present you with the circumstantial evidence we have here. We have a judge that last week told the jury, lectured them on the importance of keeping an open mind. A juror gets booted yesterday, perhaps for doing some independent research, and then the jury foreman gets booted today. Putting that together, what does this look like?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm happy you said it's a circumstantial evidence case in terms of now what do we really want to divine from what's going on. But if I can just take some guesses here, I mean, first of all, most of the jury wants to convict. So you only have a couple of holdouts. We ran some jury simulations ourselves to understand how the jurors would go in this case. And what we discovered is that the majority of jurors want to convict. So here you have a situation, and that's why Garagos, I think, is pretty upset, where every juror that's now dismissed is potentially that holdout juror, because there only may be 1 or 2 that want to hold out for a defense verdict. And this is really an issue. The second thing is the jurors that have now been dismissed are both jurors I think fit the profile of being more pro-defense than pro-prosecution. First of all, the juror that has just been dismissed, number 5, his background is very much like the background of our juror that held out for a defense verdict because of circumstantial evidence. Being a lawyer, he was very specific and very strict on the way to interpret the burden of proof, which is very difficult here because it's a circumstantial evidence case.
Well, you lay out a case then in which the defense may have reason to worry. At the same time,
Yes.
Could the defense look at this and say, this case is just teetering on the edge of being a mistrial?
Well, that's a very good point, Lester, because the other problem here is the fact that now we have all this tumult going on inside the jury room. I think it's starting to build a better case for the defense to ask for a retrial, because usually you don't bring in alternates for things like this. Alternates are when a juror gets sick or they have a problem, they're incapacitated. Here you have jurors are being dismissed for malfeasance, for doing something wrong, whether it's searching the web or whatever it is.
Right, and are these alternates then walking into a poisoned atmosphere automatically?
Yeah, oh yes, absolutely.
So they're walking to a room where clearly something's gone on that they're not aware of, but they likely would feel it.
Not only that, but they're going into it where now the judge has told the entire new jury with these new alternates in there, do me a favor, please start the deliberations all over again and make believe that you never heard any of you didn't discuss the issues in the case until now the alternates are in the room. And that's ridiculous. That's not going to occur.
It's quite fascinating stuff. Mr. Solomon, thanks for talking about it with us.
Thank you.
Remember, for the very latest in the Peterson jury deliberations, tune into the Abrams Report. That's immediately following our show today at 6 Eastern right here on MSNBC.